It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look at the 5 and 10. It's glistening once again with candy canes and silver lanes that glow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door. A pair of hop-along boots and a pistol that shoots is the wish of Barney and Ben. Dolls that'll talk and will go for a walk is the hope of Janice and Jen. And Mom and Dad can hardly wait for school to start again. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. There's a tree in the Grand Hotel, one in the park as well. It's the sturdy kind that doesn't mind the snow. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Soon the bells will start, and the thing that'll make them ring is the carol that you sing right within your heart. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Toys in every store, but the prettiest sight to see is the holly that will be on your own front door.
It's a beautiful Monday morning. It is the 11th of December 2023. Now, I don't know whether you're a parent or a guardian. I don't know whether you have successfully been able to place your child or your ward in a senior high school. Now, I'm saying this because some heads of senior high schools, numbering about 11, have been interdicted for unapproved fees. That's the charge unapproved fees. And therefore, they've been asked to step aside whilst investigations will be conducted. Now, these heads are from the Ashanti region, the Greater Accra region, the Eastern region, as well as the Bono regions. Now, the ones from the Ashanti regions number about 7. And they include heads of Asante Man Senior High School, Kumasi Girls Senior High School, Kumasi Senior High Technical School, and others. Now, they charged unapproved fees from hymnals, sale of files, printing slips, sale of assessment records, admission fees, PTA dues, bed fees, just to mention a few. So what do you make of this action, this decision by the GES, in suspending these heads for charging unapproved fees? Now, we want for you to share your views with us, your experiences with us, whether you were made to pay anything at any point whilst you were helping your ward get to school. But even if not, what do you generally make of this decision by the GES? Because the heads were instructed not to charge any unapproved fees. We are live on Facebook. Follow us there on Facebook on Live in the Morning. We've got some of the letters sent to the heads there. You can take your time to read the letters and get to see for yourself what they are being charged for having, taken from parents. As a speaker, I have with me Reverend Father Stephen Osuseche. He is a national president for Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools on the phone lines. That is Charles. Rev, good morning to you.
Good morning, and peace be with you all.
Same to you, sir. Thanks very much for your time. So let me start off by having you share with us your initial response to the interdiction of these heads. Unless you have taken on unapproved fees, what's your initial response or reaction?
I have difficulty in getting some of the words. So if you could teach me I don't know whether it's from my end or I can't hear some of the words you.
I'm asking for you to share with us your initial response related to the interdiction of these heads for taking on unapproved fees.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and greetings to your cherished listeners. It is very worrying, and personally, personally, I am disturbed and worried. The fact that some of the charges, when I saw them, I couldn't believe it anyway. Some of them are not charging fees in the strict sense of the word. Some of them, according to letters, they charged fees. Others were sale of some items on campus. So let's try to differentiate the two. For example, hymnal, some schools were giving hymnals to the students, and they were supposed to pay for it because they needed hymnals to pray and to sing at church. So not all of them were charging of unapproved fees. Others, some of them were fees, let's say unapproved money that were collected. Some of them were sale of items. But very unfortunate that these things happened. And in some regions, the regional directors called the heads involved, and then some initial investigations went on, and some of the things that were leveled against them, charges leveled against them, were dropped because they found out that they were not true, and then others were sustained, and they were given letters to step aside for investigations because in some instances the heads were not even aware that somebody at the corner somewhere, maybe getting closer to the school, was selling something. In some instances, somebody from somewhere, could be a staff member or whoever, was selling something on campus. And in some instances where a school cloth was being sold, I think in the Eastern Region, the head was aware without any malicious intention. So these are the integrities of the issues. I've spoken with some of the heads in Ashanti Region, and speaking with them. In fact, almost all of them are saying that they didn't even know that their letters were out there until people started calling them. They were not called. They didn't know anything about what was going on. Just that some officers came to their schools, took the information, sent it to the regional office, and letters were issued. The letters have not been even given to them. I'm now on my way to the regional office to see what is going on and to hear what really transpired. So we are really worried, and I must say that it has created some kind of fear and panic among members. You don't know who is watching what, who is speaking your information to where, and before you realize you are being asked to step aside. So you can see that in Ashanti Region, numbers are high. Out of the 11, 7 of them are from Ashanti Region. And almost all of them are telling me that they were not called. Nobody called them to ask what was going on. All they heard and saw was that people were calling them and telling them about their letters being circulated online. So it's a cause to worry.
So which means if I can
unfortunate that some members did not pay heed to whatever we told them, but I want to wait and allow the investigation to go on because some schools are telling me, or one of the heads told me, Father, I don't know anything. I always drive away people who even come close to my school. And then I'm told one parent came, didn't even know how to print the result slip and even the placement form and all that. And then the teacher used his own phone to check it out for these parents. And then Momo went out there and printed for the parent, and the parent had to give the money to the teacher. And then that was picked up. The headmistress or the headmaster perpetrating that act, charging on a fee or printing of a result slip, and the charge is put before it, and the headmaster is really, really worried and bitter. All right, so you don't know who is in your school, siphoning information, whether true or false, and sent to authorities, and you'll be asked to step aside. That is really creating a kind of fear and panic situation among rank and files of chaff. And I think today we are going to have meetings upon meetings to ensure that this will be nipped in the bud, because it will not help our work. Already we are stressed out, and some of these things will not augur well for us, especially our health.
All right, so let me acknowledge the presence.
That's my initial comment on this.
Thank you very much, Reverend. So let me also acknowledge the presence of Divine, who is a Senior Programs Officer with Africa Education Watch. Divine, good morning to you, and thanks very much for your time. Divine, hold the line for me. But listen to Rev carefully means that most of these 7 heads in the Ashanti region who have been asked to step aside have not been given official letters informing them of the directive from the GES. They have heard it on social media, so that is well noted. But Rev, let's speak hypothetically here, that all the allegations leveled against them is anything to go by. Let's say it's true. Do you see any wrong in there? I'm asking this question because I've spoken to some headmasters. Their concern is that they're not giving admission fees. Yet they're supposed to help the people, the children and parents go through the admission process. Some of the headmasters says they don't have desks. In fact, I was told that for KSTS, they nearly went on a demonstration last week or two. Then some desks was given to them. Some headmasters say they don't have, beds. And so if a parent supports with something to enable the school get beds, what is wrong with that? Do you see any wrong done, even if the allegations are true? Do you see any wrong done by the heads?
Yes, I can say I can see some wrongs done, and whatever that they're also talking about these monies and furniture and all, they're also true, but I wouldn't say that because of those issues go and charge something you have been asked not to charge. David, you see, the problem is intertwined with so many issues. Remember, during our conference at Chimoda School, as president, I outlined all the issues as you're talking about furniture, money, recurrent money in arrears. I outlined all of them, and the media picked them up, and discussions went on. We were called to speak to the issues and all. After that, everybody went to sleep. And now, you see, everything is now coming back to us. We are in the schools. We are taking care of the kids. And if you're not giving what we need to take care of them, the work becomes so difficult for us. Parents will come to your house. Maybe you send a student to one house. They say, this house is all painted. This house is this house is that. But we don't have the money to maintain the house. Okay? And we are struggling to ensure that these things are done in our schools. We have done so much well. The stress is too much on us. And we have been crying and crying out, and it seems nobody is listening to us. And we, as Ghanaians, are doing our best to ensure that these children will go to school. All right? And at times when I hear that, the heads cannot talk, we talk. Okay? We speak. All right? And we write on paper. If you like, look for the communique we issued. Look for my speech. Even when the president was sitting there, we said everything. We said we wanted to buy our own food. Nobody has spoken. Nobody. We have been going behind the scenes. We have been speaking to management. We have been speaking to the ministry to ensure that these things are done. Now people think that we are not talking. We are talking. But the public, the headmistress have been demonized. We think that, I have so many things on the prospectus. Let's try to save these parents from the shackles of the headmasters. That is not true. Everything that we have on the prospectus is very important for the students in the school. So it's like the public. What we feel right now is that there is more or less a perception trying to galvanize the public against the head, so that we will not be respected, we will not be taken serious. Even when we speak, nobody will listen to us. But let me tell you, whether we like it or not, we are taking care of the children. Since the inception of SHS, we have been doing this job, and we have been doing it, whether good or bad, to this time. We voice out our grievances, and we want our grievances to be addressed. We put them on paper. David, I've sent one to you already last year. You called me, I told you that. And the discussion always comes when admissions are going on. Okay, when we speak to issues before admissions, nobody speaks, all right, about them. And this issues thrive. Money is not coming. Okay, furniture in our schools inadequate, and recurrent money not coming to the schools. We have been speaking about it from time immemorial. All right, so that is the issue. But I wouldn't say that because of those ones, as an employer, as an employee, the employer says, don't do this, and instead of going back to have discussions so that you meet in the middle, and then you all understand that go and charge this. You cannot take the law into your own hands and charge. But what I'm trying to say is that in most
for me,
cases,
Rev, please kindly hold the line for me. Let me engage with Divine.
Investigate to see whether or not what they are saying is true. Until that happens, we have been asked to step aside for investigation to go on. So we cannot say that they are guilty or not guilty. Now,
Rev, I'll come back to you shortly. Hold the line for me, Rev. Please hold the line for me. Let me engage now with Divine, who is Senior Programs Officer with African Education Watch. Divine, if you can hear me, good morning and thanks very much for your time.
Good morning. If you can raise your voice a bit, that would be
fine. I will try, Divine. But I'm sure that you've heard the National President for CHAS. Now, looking at the interdiction letters that are being circulated, do you sympathize with these heads, especially having heard from the National President for CHAS? Can you fathom why some of the heads are charging these things, although they've been directed not to?
All right. Thank you for having me, and good morning to your listeners. Very unfortunate that we are hearing of this issue. We at Africa Education Watch are currently arguing a study to understand the cost incidence of the Regional High School program, and preliminary findings also revealed that the high cost of prospectors in last year and other previous years have prevented some children from enrolling or honoring their placement into senior high schools. Although regional high school is free, but the cost of prospectors is actually a deterrent to some parents for enrolling their wards. So yes, some children are still home because of high cost of prospectors. So if GES has taken a step to harmonize the prospectus, which if you look at it, the total cost, we try to cost the items, and it will take a parent 2,100 of that to clear all the items in the prospectus, compared to previous years where we're seeing some of the prospectus even costing as much as 3,000, and some instances is 3,000 plus. So if GES, in collaboration with CHAS, we must know that this decision was taken in collaboration with CHAS and other stakeholders. So if after arriving at a decision, and then your employer has given a strict directive that do not charge anything extra apart from what is in the list, do not introduce anything extra apart from what is in the list, and do not even tie admission to the prospectus, because as we have been hearing, some heads are tying admission to the prospectus that you have to get this or fully get every item before you are admitted. If we are hearing instances like this, then it tells you that already we are seeing signs that will make the harmonized prospectus not work. But actually, we see it as, to some extent, a game changer, because it has reduced the cost of acquiring prospectus to enroll children in school. So if we are beginning to see actions like this, then we are deeply worried, because at the end of the day, it's going to reverse the progress we have made in having a harmonized prospectus. So we don't want to see that. So if heads of institutions are taking their own unilateral decision, going contrary to what their employer has given, then I think action to interdict them for investigation is fully in place. They are not sacked. All that they ask is step aside for investigation to be done. So they are not even accusing them that, yes, what we are hearing is conclusive. They say we are here to carry out our investigation. So for me, I don't see that as a big deal. We fully support the investigation and with the outcome of that. And strongly, we feel where there are heads that may be indicted, if indeed they have gone contrary, have done something wrong, the appropriate sanctions will be meted out to them.
But Divine, how about the challenges that some of the heads face in the schools? No furniture, no beds. There are some of things that the heads are let you have, taken. Some of them are outrageous. But again, you look at some like, classroom furniture, desks. You look like beds. Because I spoke to a certain headmaster, late last night. His concern is that he's admitting students. He doesn't have enough beds available. Now, he has written to the GES, written to the education minister, and no response has come. How do they run the school then? How do they, give sleeping places to these students then?
Those are challenges that, yes, we admit that are facing the implementation of the free high school, inadequate infrastructure in some of the schools. Those are issues that, rightly so, we admit that they are existing. But the point is that how are the heads trying to solve that? Is it that you are tying that to admission, that you have to build a prospective SHS one student, get money from that before you admit a staff because there's no desk? No, that's supposed not to be the case. There are other ways to do this that will not raise concern. In fact, the GES is not saying such instances do not take any action. Of course, they are encouraging innovation. If you want to charge for desks, it shouldn't be tied to enrolling students. It shouldn't be tied to prospectus. No, we are talking about prospectus over here. The issue of discussing is items in a prospectus, new items being introduced. So if it is about desks, that's a different case altogether, because it is not even an item in the prospectus at all. But if it is there, that is their headache. Yes, there are channels for addressing some of these instances. If it is PTA who have come to conclusion that, yes, there are no decks and we are billing ourselves this amount for, of course, it should be reasonable. We are billing this amount. It should be a reasonable amount to address the deficit in the school. That is understandable. It shouldn't be that the heads are the ones seen to be billing the students for such items. Not at all. So, yes, these are issues that we should admit, but how the issues are being addressed is the concern here. Is it a case that if the child is unable to get the money for the debt, the child will not be enrolled? No, these are prospective first-year students. So let them, first of all, address their admission issues, get their prospectus that has been approved by the Ghana Education Service. Let them come to school, and then PTA has decided on an amount for them to be paid for supply of decks. Then they can. Of course, even GS has directed that PTA their levy should not be compulsory. If the student has enrolled and then PTA has agreed that this is what we are charging for decks, and parents voluntarily want to pay for that, that is it. But we must distinguish between the case. Prospectus items, the items in there are heads introducing new items that can likely cause the harmonized prospectus to go into extinction. That is what we want to avoid. We've come a long way to harmonize this particular prospectus. That's that what is happening in Savalego SHS will be the same thing that will be happening in Accra Academy, so that there will be uniformity. The cost will reduce for the parents. The parents will know ahead of time that, okay, this is a harmonized prospectus. So even while my child is waiting for admission next year, I can even be buying the items, and because the items, there will not be any variation. Wherever I go, there will be much commonalities. So if we do not protect this, it tells you that once you are seeing the emergence of items being introduced arbitrarily by the heads of different schools, all the progress we've made by coming to this point of having a harmonized prospectus would have been undone. And we'll go back to the previous stage where heads of all schools are having different items in the prospectus. We don't want to encourage that. So let's try to protect it. If there's an item, for me, I know a child has been on the table doing a discussion on arriving on what should be in the prospectus and what should not be in it. If their members have concerns that, okay, we believe some items are supposed to be, and then probably Charles has sent it, and they have all had, Charles met with GS management, they have had their discussion, and they have all arrived that, okay, yes, and probably we believe this should have been there, but it may not be so pressing, so we can remove it. If a consensus has been built on the part of Charles, on the part of GS, that this, of course, we cannot give justification that this is needed, but if GES and Charles have arrived and say, okay, let's take this off, I don't think that Charles members in any of the schools should go contra, because Charles was part of the discussion. And I'm sure their members, they will have a discussion with their members on items to maintain in the list. items not to maintain in the list.
But hold on for me, Divine. Let me come to the national president for CHAS, Reverend Osu Seche. Rev, I have spoken to some headmasters. I don't know whether they'll be taking lessons from this interdiction of these 7 head teachers in the Ashanti region, because I know of some senior high schools where they are still selling some of these items, the personal items, so the checks, the sandals, and other things. For them, because it's not being sold in the school, the premises of the school, for them, because there are no school crests on the check uniforms and all that, and that somebody is around the school gate area selling it, it is fair game. Do you agree with them when they say that?
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, I didn't hear anything that my brother Divine was saying because the line was so faint. I didn't hear anything, but I'll go ahead and then respond to your question. As I've already indicated, the fact that we have issues with money in the school doesn't mean that you should go against directive from the Director General. That one is not something that I will encourage at all. Yesterday we had a meeting, Zoom meeting, with all the heads in the country, and we admonished each of them to go by the directive from the Director General. And we don't want anybody to go against whatever that we have been told to do. And they should leave everything with the core executives of CHAS to meet with management. And if there are issues that we have to sit and discuss, we will do so. Until then, they should go by whatever that has been put on the prospectus. So I don't expect management to ask. In fact, I'm not expecting management. I don't think management will do that. That somebody is selling something outside the school, and then you use that to implicate the head. I don't think that would be fair, because I'll be in my office. I don't know what is going on across the road in front of my gate. The last time I came out of my school, the main gate, Pokua School. See, there's a highway in front of the gate, right? If you cross to the other side, you see people selling white shirts and all that. People sell there, but because of maybe admissions, I've seen a lot more people coming there to sell. It's not in my school. It's across the road. You can use that to say that I am selling something there. So it's outside my school compound and all that. I don't have the right to go and tell somebody to stop selling. After that one, if somebody is selling outside the school, I don't think management will use that against anybody. But if investigations go on and then you are doing that in the school or on the school compound, that is where I have told my members to desist from that kind of activity. And I know they have listened, and those who are doing it have listened, and they are going to comply.
But tell me this: what is CHAS going to do to support or to help these 7 head teachers?
These 7 head. In fact, right now I'm very close to the regional director's office. We want to. In fact, they have been called to come to the regional office, and I don't know what they are going to be told. But we are going to explain our side to the regional director for him to also understand that some of the issues are not. They seem very, very true, but some of the issues are not the way they have been reported to him. So maybe we pray that the regional director will listen to us and then look into the matter. And where our members are going wrong, we will come together and resolve the matter. So that is what we are going to do. We are in support. We are supporting them. We're calming them down. We don't know who did what, because most of them are denying the allegations leveled against them. So we don't really know where the truth lies. So we are going to find out. As I said, the investigations into these matters will bring out the truth. So until then, I want us to wait and see what will happen. But everybody is fine, even though they are not happy. They are down emotionally. We are trying to meet with them. They are here. I'm going to meet with them and then talk to them and try to set them up psychologically to be strong, because it seems to me there's fear and panic in the region among the heads. They tell me that people are in their schools trying to get information for them to be And when it happens this way, those who don't like you in the school also take advantage and be peddling all kind of stuff against you. So we want to calm them down so that they could also have that courage to work as heads of these schools for us.
Well, thank you very much, Reverend Father Stephen Owusu-Sechere, who's the national president for CHAS. Divine, but I mean, how do we have a win-win situation? Because heads of schools are struggling. Yet there's a directive not to charge any, unapproved fees. How do we have a win-win situation going forward?
Yes, heads of schools are indeed struggling. They have monetary issues, but strongly we advise that they use the appropriate channel in doing that. If your employer says do not charge for anything, I think we need to adhere to that. The heads need to adhere to that. It's very important. But more importantly, we all have to be making the case for GES to be making money available timely. But again, if it is about money availability for this academic year, I heard the CHAS Ashanti chairperson mentioning that as far as they are concerned, money needed for this particular semester has been made available, and food has also been distributed. So they are in good hands, and they had a Zoom meeting some few days ago with the Director General of Ghana Education, and he assures them that what actually is needed for running of the school for this particular semester will be released in due course. So for me, I think we will have to exercise this constraints as far as admission processes are concerned. We don't need to have coming to this point of heads of school charging extra. No, it has always to have to be a discussion that will be arrived between the PTA and then the Ghana Education Service as far as the CHAS is also concerned. So it has to become conclusive between these particular three bodies, and we don't have to be the case that the heads of schools are taking their own decisions.
Well, Divine, thank you very much for your time. I know that you have another engagement to attend to. So we appreciate your time with us this morning. Thanks very much. We will sit back and observe what will happen as a result of the investigations that are going to be conducted, what the findings will be, and then we'll take it from there. So thank you very much, Divine, for your time. Thanks very much, Reverend Father Owusu-Sechere, also for your time. I personally spoke to Cassandra Chum Ampofo, who is the with CHAS, and she also agreed to speak to us. Unfortunately, Cassandra is not picking her call this morning, and that's how come we don't have the GES on right now. Yes, Cassandra is with the GES. In fact, she's the head of public relations unit, Ghana Education Service. That is Cassandra Chum Ampofo, and unfortunately, she's not picking her call because we wanted to understand what was happening and stuff like that. But unfortunately, she's not picking her call. So what we're going to be doing now is we'll be activating the phone lines. You're a parent. You've heard from the National CHAS President. You've heard from Divine as well. Let's hear your own story. What charges have you had to pay, and how has it affected you? But again, do you appreciate what some of the heads are going through, especially, when, it has to do with the fact that they don't have some simple basic items for school. So as some headmaster that I spoke to, for example, complains bitterly about beds. He doesn't have beds, yet he's admitting students and he's going to admit them to come to boarding. He says some of the students will have to sleep on the floor. So what is wrong if a parent says, I'm going to support, you with some money or with some beds? But then again, the directive is there. Do not charge any unapproved fees. At this point in time, let me run you through some of the things that they are alleged to have done. For example, Mr. Kojo Obeng Apia is headmaster for Manso Edubia Senior High School. That's in the Amansia South District. And I agree. Some schools are struggling to get some basic things for the school. But if you go through some of the list that some of the heads are also alleged to have charged, it doesn't make sense. So, for example, for this school, that is Manso Edubia Senior High School, they are charging ICT picture without printing, 40 Ghana cedis. Admission fee. I don't know why you're going to be charging admission fee, 300 Ghana cedis. Payment of registration point, 400 Ghana cedis. Protocol payment, 200 Ghana cedis. PTA dues, they say don't charge. The PTA executives should be doing this. You're charging 400 Ghana cedis. Sale of school uniform, 300 Ghana cedis. So, Leo, do the calculation for me. Do the calculation. Pick your phone and do the calculation for me. So, admission fee is 300 Ghana cedis. Payment of registration at registration point is 400 Ghana cedis. That is 700 Ghana cedis. Protocol payment is 200 Ghana cedis. That is 900 Ghana cedis. Then PTA dues is 400 Ghana cedis. Okay, so let's do the calculation. It is, and it's crazy. So Eugene, give me that. You want to do the calculation too, eh? Kwabna is on the phone lines right now. Kwabna, let's hear you. I mean, Kwabna, good morning.
Good morning, David.
So, what do you make of the GS, decision to interdict these headmasters, knowing that the heads of these schools are struggling to get some basic things for the students?
Okay, so David, I think I'm personally surprised that the GS is coming out now. I thought that these communications should have come prior to the reopening of the school.
They were instructed. The directive came out early, Kwabena. The directive came out early. They were instructed not to charge any.
No, I'm talking about to parents. The directive giving parents the information, because my ward actually is in St. Louis. We went there, we didn't know. And even though they stated on the prospectus that some of the items were optional, they were selling it on school. Aside paying over 3,000 cedis for the prospectus, we had to buy items over 1,000 cedis on campus. And that makes me worried, because if I had gotten this information that hymn book and those things are not supposed to be paid for, I paid for even the personal records. Before they get your admission, you pay for it. And then, David, that gives me a bit of, makes me uncomfortable. If I
how much did you pay?
I wouldn't have paid.
Kwabena, in all, how much did you pay?
So I paid. See, I can't, because they didn't give you receipts, because I can tell you that every parent paid. I paid on campus. I paid over 1,000 cedis on campus, and the prospectus is different. That's over 3,000. Because that's what they gave. So my worry is those that I paid on campus, because I wouldn't know that I'm supposed to pay for this item or I'm not supposed to pay for. Because we're all paying. Parents were all paying. My word is in science. I don't know, because if you're also not careful, your child will be victimized. Maybe that's why parents do not want to actually come out.
Well, I hear you, Kwabena. Thanks very much for joining us. Chris is also on the line. Hi, Chris. Good morning.
Yeah. Good morning, David. How are you, sir?
I am well.
David, so do you think that GS just got up one day and started inducting people? There have been series of this going on every year, David. You see, but that notwithstanding, the schools have challenges. David, KSTS, they lack now. KSTS is one of the highly popular, school in the country. In fact, the one seat that they wrote, it was KSTS that presented the huge number of students to rent the WASI, but they don't have desk. You go there, you see the students standing whilst writing. They were writing quiz. Some of them were standing whilst writing the quiz. So that should also say that you should charge fees that are not important. David, I'm privy to one of the letters that came out. Before the headmaster signed for the National Health Insurance, I think it's a school outside Kumasi, you have to pay 200 cedis for National Health Insurance before you sign. So we are pleading that they should be investigated and probably be warned, and so that they'll come back and work. We're also telling them that some of the things that they are doing is outrageous, and the fact that David DS, now that you've asked them to step down for them to be investigated. So if later you find out that they are not guilty, you've dented their image. You've dented their image. So I think that they should play the cards very well, because parents are also suffering, because some of the charges are too outrageous.
Well, thank you very much, Chris, for joining us. I can see Nana Kweku, I can see that of Francis as well on the line. But please hold the line for me. Fortunately for me, Cassandra Chumampofo has called us. She's on my line. We're trying to raise her on the phone lines to clarify a few things for us, all right? So that's what we're trying to do right now. So Nana Kweku and Francis, please indulge me. We'll get back to you shortly. Cassandra, good morning to you. Hello, Cassandra. All right, Nana Kweku, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, Nana, let's hear you, sir.
Doing the right thing at the wrong time makes it work. Yes, we are all aware that you need senators. You need other things that will make the student life on campus conducive. But it is what you did. You did not tie it up to admission, where a child from Ochebediata, but I've gone through a whole lot, which is those things on perspectives. The person go to school and you see you are charging X, Y, Z. Before that, you get admitted. That is what we are all about advocating, that it shouldn't happen, because if the perspective is harmonized, the one going to...
Hello, Nana Kweku. Hello, Nana. Well, I think we lost another. Can I try? Is Francis on the line? Can we speak to Francis? We lost Francis as well on the line.
Hello.
Do we have Francis on the line or Cassandra?
It's me, Ken.
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, David.
See you, Ken.
David, for me, in fact, I support the interdiction because these heads, okay, they are too weak to speak to the truth. They don't want to go back to the classroom because that is what will happen to them when they speak to the truth. You see, and then about the prospectus, if that man says everything on the prospectus is so important, look, when you buy a hoe and a cutlass, fine, I'm not saying they are not important. Some of them are less important compared to others. So you can't say everything on the prospectus is important that a child must buy them before coming to school. I support the interdiction. And so heads unite themselves and speak to the truth so they can be free. Good morning, David.
Well, good morning, Ken. Thanks for joining us. And apologies to Nana Kweku. I don't know what happened. We're doing so many things at the same time on the phone line. So pardon us. We lost you along the line. Who do you have on the line? Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, boss. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, my name is Daniel.
Let's hear you, boss.
Dave, what you are discussing is very important concerning the education. You see, so what are they doing with all these things? The broom and the cutlass. So many brooms and cutlass. So can the cutlass destroy or spoil on even 2 months the brooms? So whatever they are doing is not good. They should change. You see, I support the intervention that the man is saying. You see, they should change. The school is not good. The free education is spoiling our children. They don't even know anything. You see, they should listen to us and come down, come to the drawing board and change everything. It's not good at all. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for calling us. Nana Kweku is back on our lines, and apologies to you. We lost you earlier. Go ahead. Please make your point.
No problem. What I'm saying is that if the prospectus is harmonized, so that anyone coming from Ochibiata or from whatever to talk knows that by the time my child goes to school, this is what is needed. It's harmonized. So the person can even start preparing now if the daughter or the son is in JHS 3. And then as I was saying, teachers should be innovative. You need things on campus, PTA meetings. You organize that. You build the children. Yes, you all agree. But do not tie it to the admission of a ward in school. You can do it probably if they are in second year, they are going in. And in fact, it should be, it's voluntary. It should be, I've never even seen my colleague teachers even pay, it's PTA, Parent Teacher Association, to teachers pay for these donations. They don't. So please, it shouldn't be something that you're going to charge and then our children come to school. If they come in and then, that's what someone was saying, every year we charge a plastic one and everything. Why? Do they get spot in just a year? Sometimes they should just leave it out so that people, certain things should even be something that is tied, and you need to buy them. In books, school clothes, cutlasses and hose.
Thank you very much. Do we have Kojo on the line? Hi, Kojo. Good morning. Hi, Kojo. Good morning.
Good morning, David. How are you, please?
I'm well, Kojo. Let's hear you, sir.
Yes, David. Thank you. David, I happened to see about 7 or 8 of the indictment letters yesterday. And when you look in the letter, you could see that it's a systematic approach, like a collective approach, whether the head teachers and the headmasters, they sat together and they came up with ideas. You see, David, we sit down every day and we talk about politicians. We talk about their deception. We talk about fraud and all these things. But look at the system. The system doesn't work in this country. Nothing is working. How could you pay 200 cedis? Listen, I know how much I have to pay for NHIS. I know. How can you charge a student 200 cedis for NHIS? In one of the letters, the school is charging, I think, 350 cedis for compulsory anniversary cloth. And at the same time, they are selling parts of the cloth. How can you charge 450 cedis, 500 cedis for a chop box? Listen, this country is in a mess. They need to be investigated. This country is in a mess. We always talk about politicians. We always talk about MPP, NDC. But we ourselves, we are not being honest with us. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you very much, Kojo, for joining us. And listen, the list are many. So if you join us on our Facebook page this morning, on Love in the Morning, you get to see it for yourself, and then you take your time to read through. Well, like the gentleman said a while ago, that's Kojo, there's a particular prospectus where the school is charging sewn anniversary cloth 280 Ghana cedis, and then just the anniversary cloth is going for 60 Ghana cedis. Why would you do this to parents? Mohammed, good morning.
Good morning, David.
Welcome, Mohammed.
David. So why are people so wicked in this nation like that? Not everybody have the money to go to school. And somebody has come that I'll make everything free. You have people, you are being paid. So did it tell you that if the points also have education? Did it tell you people? So how can we make a law? Then somebody will sit there for their criminal benefits, wanted to spoil things. So I'm appealing to government that everybody who will be caught, you should be jailed. If you don't jail them, this thing will not stop. Thank you very much, David.
Thank you very much, Mohammed, for joining us as well. Francis is also on the line. Hi, Francis. Good morning.
Good morning, David.
Welcome, sir.
Yes, I also 100% support the interdiction. We have some of the headmasters who wish that we go back to school fee paying, so that they'll be able to, through this fraudulent means, to get their income and whatever. My other issue has to do with the headmaster that you spoke to, who doesn't have enough beds for the school. Before the placement is done every year, data is collected from all heads of schools. You indicate the availability. So if you can admit 200 students, but the best available is 180, you indicated that you can admit 180. You don't have the authority to charge for beds. So that is my submission this morning, and I think I support it, because some of the headmasters are undermining this directive. And in this country, we say policies do not work. We have a nice policies, but when it comes to implementation, we have people who try to undermine it. And I think these people should be used as scapegoats.
Well, Francis, thank you very much for joining us. But again, I'm not holding brief for anybody. But a particular headmaster I spoke to yesterday says, listen, he submitted to GES the number of students he can admit for boarding. But even when the placings or the postings was made, it went beyond the figure that he had requested for. I'm not holding brief. I'm just putting across what a headmaster said to me. Political Thinker is also on the line. Political Thinker, welcome and good morning.
Yes, respond to that question. You know something? The headmaster, before you get a chance to become that headmaster, there are people that cry. If you didn't pay certain amount, there is no way that they will allow you to become a headmaster. So if they become headmasters, then they have to find some ways so that they can get that money back. Because from the previous years, look at the time that there was no free senior high school. Look at the money the schools were generating. Where do those money goes? Look, Tech, a senior high school. Mrs. Joyce Owusu, the retired head mistress. We saw her using the internal generated funds to build so many buildings over there. You are living witness to what I'm saying.
Well, thank you very much. I cannot hold brief on this one. I cannot substantiate, what you're saying. So for this, I will not allow you to go on with it. Political Thinker. And Love FM disassociates itself with what Political Thinker just said. Let's go to Bekwa and speak to Kenneth. Hi, Ken. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, dude.
Yes, boss. Welcome, sir. Let's hear you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Please, first of all, I'd like to ask, have there ever been any audits on the items that they are collecting in various schools? Because every year you have about 1,000 plus students, and these people will bring cut classes. How are they using this? Is this exhaustive? Some items can last for about 3-4 years, and it can still be in the school. But every year they collect these things. When you go to the school, are they there? Can you find these items over there? In fact, sometimes we seek to blame the government. Government comes, government go, but we seek to blame. We must blame ourselves. because we try to make things cheap and cheaper for us, but people are sitting somewhere trying to cheapen their own political interests, and this is not going to help the country. So the authority must set up and make sure the right things are done.
I hear you. Well, thank you very much, Ken. And if what I'm being told is what it is, then apologies, you political thinker. I heard something like the headmistress at the time took the internally generated funds and established businesses with it. But Leo is saying that you were saying that she used it to do some very good things on campus. If that's what you said, fine. But whichever way it is, I wouldn't want to run down anybody because I don't know what the person has done with the internally generated funds and all that, so I'll not be able to substantiate it. Thanks very much, political thinker. Our final caller is in Osei. Osei, welcome and good morning.
Yes, Osei. David, I can tell you that KSCS headmaster is innocent. Fantastic KSCS. That man is a justice man. David, there was a teacher who was there. He did something bad and he was transferred. And he said that he will not go down alone and he's going to implicate the KSCS headmaster. So I want GS to investigate this, but that man, the school is becoming one of the best schools in the country. Mr. Joaquin Andrews, he's from OKS. He was transferred to KSCS. There was a teacher there who was sleeping with some girls and he was transferred. And then he said that he will not go down alone. He will make sure that the KSCS headmaster to also go down. So please, we want GS to investigate this case very well because that man is.
Well, I hear you, and let me just rest my case. Let's go into our WhatsApp console. We've got some messages there. Stan is going to handle it.
Okay, so this one says, good morning, David, and your cherished listeners. Much as the government wants to its flagship program upheld, there are too many things which either are not in place or working properly. For instance, my first daughter, not until Form 3, received the government textbooks, yet her school will not school her. It is the market in the market, the prices of such books are more expensive. His junior brother, who just entered this year, is yet to receive any books. Are parents going to look on unconcerned till they also get to the third year? House dress and hymnal had to be bought at the school for uniformity. In fact, the hymnal we bought for him outside the school did not have the school song, so we had to get him a second one. Water closet keep breaking down. Lockers for safekeeping of their items, beds, etc. are all not in place, and we as Ghanaians and parents have to wait for this government to fix these items before the children go to school or after they have been infected and sent back to us in the house. Unfortunately, the few heads who think like parents and try to address some of these concerns will, with support from the PTAs, and voluntary parents get victimized. Please, let's use the media to voice out that which the heads of these schools are being gagged from voicing.
Well, if you had the Reverend, speak this morning, he says, well, head teachers are speaking out. But then again, it's a directive from the GS. That's your employer. Your employer says don't charge any unauthorized fee. So if you don't have beds, if your water closets are breaking and all that, write to the authorities and ask that they support the school. If you don't do that and use your own prerogative, your own decision to take some of these things, then you find yourself in trouble. Please go ahead.
Dave, you see why government sometimes regulates some of these institutions and we, the public, we just can't understand. It looks like we Africans, when you give us the opportunity, we want to abuse it. Let's look at the typical situation of new students being charged anniversary dues. These are new students who are coming to the school. The school is yet to give them any benefit for them to also improve upon their life. So why are they to be charged that amount? It's not all students who have to be charged this amount. And look at these entrance fees and all those things. Please, let the students even enter the school and deal with the parents through a meeting. It shouldn't be by force. We want people to learn. And heads of institutions, the poverty situation that we find ourselves. If people are not educated across board, we cannot develop. So please, there are certain things that we can do without them.
And to the team, Love FM. Dave, this is Roman Justice K of IT Design. You see, Dave, Ghana is so pathetic. Listen to the word that you use. It said they were charging unapproved. Let's emphasize on the word unapproved. Isn't it criminal for a headmaster who's supposed to know better come across the word unapproved and still they are demanding, charging, selling? Why? Why are you doing this to ourselves? Is it because of what political gains or whatever? The GS has issued a statement that no one should charge any student, and here you are. You have some of the schools charging fees. A lot of things.
Dave, the kasa umi kasa wi okati. I say former headmistress KNUS Senior High School or you internally generated fund. Edisi abonsai atwaso miensa atwaso miensa o school mo osi dormitories osi assembly hall kesiye osi dining hall or you internally generated fund onunkwana ni administration no no na sa time no omudi kan ba ko ina no omudi kan no omudi fa hefa private senior high school for ne opoko wa ina omudi kan no e fa hefa.
Well, I apologize. Earlier on, the speakers in the studios was low. Luciani had his headset on and he told me that you were not, saying anything bad. So I apologize, Ishmael. Thanks very much. And let me quickly do this. If you look at some of the things that the schools are charging, so it means that per child, for a school like Kumasi Senior High Technical School, you're supposed to spend about 2,075 Ghana cedis on your ward. That's part of the unapproved fees. 2,075. And the list include what? Sale of files and hymnal, sale of assessment record forms, sale of books at a specific designated shop out of the school, and the protocol admission charge of at ICT lab. So that alone amounts to 2,075. If you go to a school like Mansour Dubia Senior High School, the amount that the head or the school is charging, not the head, the school is charging, unapproved, is 1,640. And that's for ICT picture without printing, admission fee, 300 Ghana cedis admission fee, payment of registration fee, 400 Ghana cedis, protocol payment, 200 Ghana cedis, PTA dues, 400 Ghana cedis, and then sale of uniform, 300 Ghana cedis.
But Dave,
1,640.
Some of the blunders is unforgivable. But himna, Obiba Skunas one, Tuya himna. Can't you print one and then for the person to read?
With whose money?
I mean, like an example that came here says they bought a hymnal for the boy, but the school song was not in that hymnal, so they have to go and buy
a different one.
Like
this one says protocol admission charge at ICT lab 2,000 Ghana cedis. Well, let's end here. But before we cross over to Joy 99.7, like I told you, the conversation is going to be on dirty fuel on our markets. This festive season, listen, if you cannot trust where you live and the power source and all that, make sure you have a standby generator. I'll be telling you where you can get some rentals, for your festive occasion. But it's all about Anointed Electrical Engineering Services Limited. That is into the sales of ultra-silent generators from 5 kVA to 2,500 kVA. They also undertake, maintain, and repair all kinds of diesel engine generators. They also stock genuine spare parts, which, of course, are good for all kinds of various generators. And also do generator rentals. That's what I was talking about. You don't want to buy, you want to rent a generator. You can go to Anointed Electrical Engineering Services and do so. Here in Kumasi, they are at Asokwa, TAT yard off the Ak Mayanka Road. That's where you can find them. In Accra, their head office is at number 77 Anointed House off the Odoko Malam Road. Please call them on 0243 480334 or 0544 340 589 and they would sort you out. Have you checked the number of SIMs linked to your Ghana card? Leo, have you done that? Have you checked, the number of SIMs linked to your Ghana card? Well, here's a simple way to find out. Step 1, dial *402 #1* on your mobile device. Step 2, enter your Ghana card PIN without hyphens for verification. So, for instance, your personal ID number is GHA 0000000023. Step 3, enter your date of birth in the format day, month, and year for further verification. An example would be 13/06/1986. Step 4, upon successful verification, expect an SMS containing a comprehensive list of mobile numbers linked to your Ghana card, along with their corresponding networks. Now, if you identify any unwanted mobile number or numbers linked to your Ghana card, request for a delinking of the number or numbers from your service provider as soon as possible. For more information, kindly call your service provider on 100 or the NCA on toll-free number 0800 110 622, or you can also dial 0307 011 419. Do that and you'll be helping your own self.
Yeah, David, there have been some calls about am I clear? Was it clear? Yeah, so there have been some calls about the approved fees. That is what we did last week.
Yeah.
When you had the full show, and that's approved prospectus, which talks about the suitcase, the chalkboard, the drinking cups, the toiletries, the sandals, the leather slippers, and all those things that we listed. Those are the ones that are approved by the GS.
Yeah.
And the ones for the school, these are the ones approved by the school, and it's categorized into 3 categories. So a pair of hand gloves, liquid soap 5 liters, or a 1 kg washing powder. A child should not buy beyond these. Another child will also buy a bleach, a small one. Another child will buy...
That's the harmonized prospectus.
Yeah, that's the harmonized. So this approved. For the ones, the khakis, and that's for your child. But when it comes to the school, GS is saying that there are about 10 items they have approved. 1, a pair of hand gloves, liquid soap, 5 liters, a 1 kg washing powder, a bleach, small size bottle, dustpan, long handle broom, 1 scrubbing brush, then standing mop and mop bucket, duster and local short broom. So for these 10, they've categorized them into 3 categories. So if the students admitted are, let's say, 1,000, 350 of them will buy the first category, which is a pair of hand gloves, liquid soap 5 liters, 1 kg washing powder. Then the next batch will buy a bleach small size, dustpan, long broom, and scrubbing brush. Then the last batch will buy a standing mop and mop bucket, duster and local short broom. So those who
but even that one, some schools are still letting them buy all the stuff on their prospectus.
No, it is wrong.
It's wrong.
Yeah,
it is definitely wrong.
That was why I called David yesterday about one school which was doing that, making them buy from all the items on the prospectus.
So it's wrong.
All right, so let me move on and tell you about how you can store water this festive season and beyond. Listen, what's your preferred color of tank? Syntex has it. What guarantee are you looking for? Syntex has it too. Now, what kind of inner layer do you want? Is it double, triple, quadruple? For your information, as many inner layers as you want, Syntex has that one too. So remember, no matter what your water needs are, Syntex has it. Syntex tank has always a year strong, a year tough. Now, they have over 300 agents nationwide, and to order a tank, all you need to do is to call 0244335168. You can also visit Syntex on social media at Syntex Ghana or shop online on www.syntexgh.com. Syntex tank, a year strong, a year tough. Now, maybe you would like to take a trip to Lagos, Nigeria. Listen, African World Airlines is thrilled to celebrate 10 years of customer loyalty on their Lagos route. Now, to join them in celebrating this milestone, seize the opportunity to book tickets for as low as $164. It's a one-way ticket with taxes included. Head to their website or download their mobile app to secure your seats now and take advantage of this incredible offer. Thank you for continually choosing African World Airlines for all your travel needs. African World Airlines, touching Africa, touching their world. Maybe now you want to go study abroad. All right. Now, if you're looking for an opportunity to study abroad and you're facing challenges in your applications for international admissions, visa, and general travel, Astolinks International provides advisory on overseas education, general travel, and immigration issues. They have specialized in countries such as Australia, UK, USA, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand, and many, many, many more. They also offer professional advice on general travel and tours. Locate Astolinks International at 4 Popo Street. It's at East Legon, adjacent Melcombe, in Accra. At the basement here in Kumasi, at the Kumasi City Mall, and at the Liberation Road in Takoradi. Call them on 0550-199-991. Visit their website, www.astolinks.net. At this point in time, we've got some more messages for you, and we'll be crossing over to Joy 99.7 in a bit, where we get to talk about dirty fuels on our markets. Please stay tuned.
Electrician say, you're free. Embrace you to fake electrical cable. No man future electrical problems now. Wow, you're free. Nexus cable meter. What's it go easy? In a video check abba. Mama chile go easy. No say use Nexus cable meter cable the wire wood dana. Embrace the way you must see it's the Eric Nexus cable meter cable. Have a conduit to my troca. Easy. Eric embryo cra. Na vigi check na. I'm going to fake cable biara and wire with you. It's about to guaranteed and quality cables are wire with you. For Nexus cable metal cable. Sepede who the cable see. Of Nexus for phone. Na download VigiCheck. Wa Apple Store and our Google Play Store. Scan the code no cable no one. VigiCheck. About confirm the cable or your quality. In original. Offering Nexus cable metal. What you go easy. In a VigiCheck abba. Nexus. We electrify the future.
Nexus cable metal. Electricity no get leg. It be Nexus cable metal cable the carrier.
Hey Linda, long time oh. Yes so. Hey, but wait oh Linda, did you win the lottery? I mean, look at your room, your TV, your sound system, your fridge. Hey.
Oh, they are nice, eh? All from Kennedy Digital Satellite. They also sell appliances like air conditioners, televisions, tabletop fridges and freezers from 100 to 900 liters, commercial fufu machines, home theater.
Super Morning Show. Super Morning Show.
Repairing it, and you're wondering how it happened. Well, it might have been